Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the maiden edition of the Cedrus Group Africa webinar 2023 Rearview, a glimpse into 2024. Cedrus Group Africa is a globally minded Pan-African financial and investment institution that is committed to delivering innovative financial advisory solutions to municipals, corporations, institutional investors, private clients across Africa and in the diaspora. And so we are committed to providing a distinct advisory service on strategic investments and wealth management matters. My name is Oluwafisayo Mitoyo, and I'll be your moderator for today. But before we dive into the exciting content that we have prepared, let's take this moment to settle in and go over a few housekeeping rules. And please just ensure that your microphones are muted throughout the session, but do not hesitate to engage us through the chat box. Keep your questions flowing because at some point in this webinar, we'll be having a Q&A session. We have a list of awesome speakers that will be ready to address all our questions. Also, very quickly, just to get a feel of where we might be joining in from. So in the chat box, I would like to implore that you type in your name and where you're joining in from very quickly so that we can just welcome you properly. Okay. Thank you, Amanda from Abuja. Welcome, Amanda. Engineer Godwin from Abuja as well. Thank you. Do we have people in Lagos? Okay, I see some people. Okay, so thank you so much. So very quickly, I'd like to introduce the CEO, Cedrus Group Africa, for his keynote address. Olubusayo Adeniyi, who is the CEO and MD of Cedrus Trustees, is a superbly qualified and result-oriented professional with over 30 years extensive experience in positions of remarkably increasing responsibility and duties. He's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICANN. He's an associate member of the Chartered Institute of Taxation in Nigeria, CITN. He's a fellow and council member, Association of Investment Advisors and Portfolio Managers, IAPM. And he's also a council member, Association of Corporate and Individual Investor Advisors, CIIA. He has an impressive track record of successful accomplishments in managing company operation, finances, business development, and strategic planning, as well as a high level of relationship management. Welcome, Mr. Olubusayo.
Thank you very much, Oluwafisayomi. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. As the CEO of Cedrus Group Africa, I'm delighted to welcome you to the maiden edition of our webinar series that we like to put information across to the public and the investing public as well. This series is actually titled 2023 Rearview and a Glimpse into 2024. In this rapidly changing and challenging times, staying ahead of economic trends is very paramount for informed decision making. Today, we gather to actually attend to some issues and to give us information as regarding how to make informed investment decision towards making financial destinies. Also, we wish to navigate the intricate and the issues that are actually happening around, and to look at the global trends, which also will dovetail to domestic landscape as well. So in the next few minutes, our analysts will dissect the global economic trends and intricacies, and also look at the dynamic issues around the Nigerian market, knowing full well that understanding is the cornerstone to actually preparing for the future. Our team with diverse experience are here, and with expertise to actually look at whatever the questions we have thereafter. We're here to also provide valuable insights that will empower you in navigating these complex terrains in which we are. Looking ahead into 2024, we stand at the cusp of unprecedented opportunities. And though the year promised with a lot of challenges, but there are opportunities that are embedded in these challenges. That is the reason why we have actually gathered in order to look at these opportunities that will propel us to the right growth and making informed decisions. We also wish to actually innovatively talk about those things we should be actually looking at while we make our strategic investment decisions. So our outlook session will explore the potential landscape for savings and investment, identifying key sectors that are poised for expansion while the reforms and policies to shape them are being rolled out by the government. Whether you are an astute investor, a budding entrepreneur, or sometimes seeking financial stability, the webinar will introduce you into the knowledge needed to make sound financial decisions in the coming years. I want to assure you that our commitment to providing unparalleled financial expertise and support remains unwavering. We are here as an investment solution provider with innovation and dedication to become your trusted partner in this financial journey. We are offering insights that go beyond the surface and strategies that stand the test of economic evolution. Thank you for entrusting us with your financial education today and growth. Let's embark on this journey to economic prosperity together in 2024 and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you, CEO, for that inspiring keynote address. It just sets the pace for what we're expected to receive or, learn from this session. So let's take a moment to introduce, let me take this moment to introduce my esteemed colleague and our esteemed speaker for today, Chinemelu Nwaize, a seasoned expert in economics and research, as she guides us through the main review of the global and domestic scenarios. Yet again, let's establish our ground rules. All microphones should be muted. And a quick reminder that everyone should get comfortable and feel free to submit your questions as we go along. Chinemelu, over to you, please.
Okay, hello, good morning, everybody. Hope we can hear me. Yes, thank you, Toyo. As rightly introduced, I am Chinemelu Nwaize, the research analyst of Cedrus Group Africa. And today we are here to make our presentation on the economic outlook and report titled 2023 Rearview, a glimpse into 2024. Yes, hope we can all see my screen, please.
Yes, Chinemelu, your screen is up.
Hello?
Yes, your screen is up.
Oh, okay, all right. So we'll delve straight into our report. Moving straight on to the global economy. The Nigerian global economy recorded a very resilient growth for 2023. We had a major economic indicator reflecting a mixed picture, and the growth rate varied also across regions. For advanced economy, using the instance of the US, as at the beginning of the year, sometime around March, we experienced the banking crisis within that period. We had banks like Silvergate, First Republic Bank, and the more popular one, Silicon Valley Bank. So this bank experienced run within this period, and to an extent, it affected the economy. We also had the near default experience of the US till the parliament stepped in to increase the debt ceiling. Now, against all these challenges, the US economy performed above expectations. And we believe that this performance was driven majorly by the increases in consumer spending, the increases in government spending, as well as more investment in the manufacturing sector, as noted in the period under study. In the emerging markets also, we have the likes of China, who also performed moderately well. The beginning of the year also saw their opening of their border fully to trade and commerce, which was closed since the pandemic period, that was COVID-19. And also, one of the challenges faced in China within the last year was also the real estate sector crisis, which was there from 2022, but was majorly seen in 2023, where we had Country Gardens, which is one of the largest property developer in the country, defaulting in its obligation. Not just Country Garden, a few others also, Evergrande also. In recent time, Evergrande has been ordered to liquidate. So all this affected the economy of China, though they had more of technological advancement also in the space of electric vehicles. Then the developing economies also performed well. They performed moderately, though at a weaker pace than the others mentioned. Then the economies were majorly impacted by challenges like the geopolitical tension that we saw within the year, the Israel-Hamas, Ukraine-Russia, also the trade war between US-China also impacted on this too. Then bringing it down to inflation, over the year 2023, there was a shift, a positive shift in headline inflation when compared to what it was for 2022. That is to say, given the base effect of 2022, 2023 experienced a lesser inflation rate. Part of the reason that also brought about this reduction in the inflation rate was the stance that the monetary policies took. Now, to buttress more on the reduction in the interest rates, we have the likes of the US. In the US, as at December 2023, their inflation rate was at 3.4%. And while December 2022, it was at 6.5. Looking at this, we will see a very high margin difference. Then for the UK, October 2023 had their inflation rate at 4.6, but as at November, it dropped to 3.9. We're also noticing the reduction over time. The euro areas too was not excluded. It was 2.9 as at October. Then when it came to November, it came down to about 2.4. So this actually shows the intent and the actions of their monetary policy committees to actually rein in inflation. Then looking at that monetary policy, we saw a lot of tightening and contractions across board, across different economies. And a lot of central banks tightened their monetary policy. That is, they took hawkish stance, which is to say that they kept increasing their interest rates over time for year 2023 in a bid to curb inflation. And for a lot of economies, majorly advanced economies, it actually worked, majorly because their inflation were more supply-sided than demand-sided. Then despite this, the success of this tightening, we also noticed that it's impacted on global trade and investment. There were tighter rules and regulations, higher interest rates on loans acquired. So it's impacted more on global trade and investment. Also increased the public debt, with US and China being at the top debtors in the world debt index. These challenges that were noted across the globe impacted different regions differently. If you're looking at energy supply crisis, it impacted more in the Asia-Pacific regions, majorly because they are the world's largest consumer of energy. Looking at food supply crisis, that's impacted more on the sub-Saharan Africa. A lot of persons, like millions of persons, were moved into extreme hunger and poverty. Cost of living also was majorly seen in the Middle East and North Africa, where we had higher inflation and lower wages. So a lot of all these challenges had their impacts in different regions. And it's more of a call for more collaborative and cooperative efforts across the globe to make this year 2024 a better one. Now, bringing it down to our outlook for 2024, we are being cautiously optimistic that year 2024 will be a good one. We had a lot of factors that supported our thoughts. We have the robust real household income, less drag between fiscal and monetary. For the year 2024, we expect the inflation rate to keep declining. We expect easing in the interest rate, and we also expect monetary policy rates to stabilize. A lot of economies, a lot of monetary policy committees are mentioning the fact that they would stabilize the economy, leaving it as it is, but towards let's say by the second half of the year, they would then turn to rate cuts. That goes a long way to show that goes a long way to pinpoint on this, our interest rate easing, inflation easing that we have noted beforehand. Also, one of the key factors that is necessary to note for year 2024 is the fact that the year is an election year. A lot of economies are having the election in this year, and that will bring a kind of economic uncertainty, as we'll be having changes in policies and all across the countries, like the US, the UK, Taiwan, Brazil, Canada. A lot of countries are actually having their election this year. And we're also looking at having the large consequence of the increases in interest rates. That is to say, the increases that were done in the previous year, we still expect to see their effects in this year, 2024. And therefore, global trade, we are still looking at it to experience diverse challenges. Sea level is actually on the increase. That, among other things, a lot of climate concerns, oil price volatility, the trade wars that we mentioned, and the fragmentations. The World Bank also noted that if the Israel-Hamas war should continue, that the global economy is going to be in a very dire situation. And I mean, we pray and hope that that wouldn't be so. The UK also noted, the Bank of England, they noted that they are actually at a 50-50 chances of recession, but also noted that what they expect their inflation to reduce just as we expect, but it shouldn't go below their target of 2%. So generally, for the global economy, we are expecting a growth, but a very modest, a very cautious one in the global economy. Okay, bringing it down to our domestic terrain, the Nigerian economy still performed. It did I wouldn't say so much of a good job, but it tried as it would. We had the GDP grow at 2.5 on the average for the 3 quarters under review. For the third quarter, it grew by just 3 basis points, which is still a growth. I mean, it's better than recording the negatives. And majorly, we have the service sector propelling this growth. That does not say that the other sectors did not do their lot, they did, but we have majority of the growth being seen in the service sector, telecommunications, banking services, and what have you. Then our oil sector also recorded a growth, though still in the negative as at the Q3 GDP report, but it was a growth. It was about a 21% growth than what it was for 2022. And we expect to see more from the oil sector for 2023. Increases in our oil production, we hope to see, among others, Dangote Refinery also. We expect to see all these impacting our oil's contribution to GDP. Bringing it to inflation, Nigerian inflation increased across board from January to December of 2023. As of January, it was at 21.82, and it ended the year at 28.20%. So our inflation here is majorly demand-induced. Reason the stance of the Monetary Policy Committee in our country has not fully achieved this aim of bringing about a reduction in the inflation rate. Although they have, they tried assiduously to address it using the monetary policy rates, that is the interest rate, the cash reserve ratio, liquidity ratios for banks, and what have you, but it has not really brought about the expected or anticipated reduction in inflation rates. Now, as interest rate is increasing, so does the cost of doing business increases. So with that, given this, we had a higher public debt for 2023, although one of the reasons that impacted the public debt being the securitization of the ways and means that was done also within the second quarter of 2023. Yeah, then looking at our capital markets, Given these increases in interest rates, a lot of persons turned to the capital markets to source for funding and also to get their returns. If we look at our equities market, the Nigeria equities market showed a very remarkable resilience. It grew above inflation rates and provided a return of 45.9%, which is very wonderful. I mean, during the course of the year, we saw our equities market being the second in Africa, and as of this year, I mean, it's actually the first. It's really doing a great job thus far, and we saw the markets beginning at about closing at 74,000 points and 45 trillion market capitalization. For our debt markets, the Nigeria debt market witnessed significant activities also. Majorly, commercial papers and treasury bills did perform wonders. FMDQ reported that for the first half of 2023, the commercial paper issuance was already more than what was issued for the full year of 2022. That also, corporate bonds also did well. We saw issuance of over 110 billion for that. Then for the treasury bill, the 364 notes ended the year at 15.75% for the each stop rate, while as at the beginning of the year, it was 4.8. So we see the difference and see a lot of, this actually goes a long way to show that we have more investor confidence in these markets. Then looking at our our outlook for 2023, falling to the back of the renewed hope budget that we have, we are seeing, looking through the budget, we saw our revenue aggregates to stem majorly from oil again. In this year, the government is actually expecting to get about 7 trillion from oil, more than what it got for the previous year. And they are looking at the price of oil stabilizing at around $78 per barrel for year 2024 on the average. It's currently at about $82 per barrel. Then they're also looking at the exchange rate to come down to about 750 naira per dollar within the year 2024, and our oil production to increase to about 1.78. These are the key assumptions that drove their revenue interest. And the difference from last year and this year's revenue budget is about 65%. That is to say, the government is expecting to get more revenue of about 65% of what was gotten from last year's. Now, looking at, on the basis of this, actually, we expect our GDP growth to grow also, but at a moderate pace. We are looking at about 2.95% increase in our GDP for year 2024. Inflation is also expected to moderate on the average in 2024. Needless to say, for the beginning of the year, we are still expecting an increase in inflation rates, though this would, as the year goes by, tend to decrease and ease a bit. And we are looking at our monetary policy rate to also increase, that is interest rate. One of the key factors that led to our expectation of this lies in the words of Dr. Yemi Cardoso. There's the current CBN governor, who mentioned that he believed that the Naira is undervalued and is actually working towards bringing down inflation to 21.4 before the end of year 2024. So given this, we expect there to be an increase in interest rates in a bid to curb down inflation levels. For our equity market, we believe that our equity market will perform well, but then it's a bit mixed given the inflation rate, interest rate across board that we are expecting for 2024. For foreign exchange, while it has been liberalized, I mean, it is now left for the interplay of demand and supply. We believe there to still be more demand for dollar, majorly because Nigeria is an import-dependent economy. That is to say, our major source of forex, our major source of foreign exchange is oil. Now, if our assumptions work as we expect them to, given what we have in the budget, and our product, we are producing about 1.7 billion barrel per day, and getting more influx of dollar, and then the diversification of our economy, which we are still working on, we expect the foreign exchange to actually drop. But as it stands at the moment, what we are seeing, like with factuals that we are seeing, we are still looking at, it's still going to be a very mixed one, but we're not really seeing the possibility of that 750 as at the first half of the year. One of the other reasons that makes us believe that it will come down a bit is using the IOM's notes, that is the International Organization of Migration. According to their reports, about 260,000 Nigerians apply to migrate from Nigeria outside to other countries. But given what we have currently, given the stringent measures that's been taken by a lot of countries like the UK, Canada also, we will find a lesser number of persons clamoring to leave the economy, because also the exchange rate will also come into play. The price of dollar keeps getting higher, so it would dampen the number of persons that are clamoring to leave the economy. We're also looking at interest rates, fixed income. We anticipate it to still be a little bit dwindling, given the fact of the higher interest rate that we are seeing across board. But we expect the implementation of effective policies that has been enacted to actually bring up the economic landscape of the country. Now, taking it finally to our investment strategy for 2024. This is like, at the end of all this, at the end of what I've mentioned, everything, how exactly should we face year 2023? What should our investment strategy be for 2023? And of course, each and every one of us should be clamoring to invest. If you're leaving your money idle, you're getting a negative real return. So it's always good to invest in one or the other asset classes to help hedge against what we are facing currently in our economy. Now, we advise that you consider growth stock funds. That is, look out for those funds that have good earning potentials. Look out for the likes of the banking sector, telecommunication sector. These are sectors that we know that are actually growing. The likes of MTN, Airtel, Ifugas, for example. There's the banks with over 1 trillion, First Bank, UBA, GTCO, among others. Then we're also looking at exploring untapped strategies. This has to do with, in the budget we saw the federal government intending to allocate about 20 to 25% of its budget to infrastructure. This goes a long way to tell us that we should kind of look to the manufacturing sector for this year. We expect there to be growth in that area. Also, another region we should look at is renewable energies. We also expect to see growth in this area for year 2024. Also, we advise embracing a diversified approach. Maintain a diversified portfolio. What does this do for you? Make sure, do not mix everything in one basket. Diversify your assets. You can have stocks, you can have bonds, you can have just mutual fund, ETFs. Just ensure that you have a diversified portfolio. You can approach financial professionals to help you with this. Also, ensure to monitor top investing trends. What this goes to say, just ensure you are in the know. Subscribe to any channel. You can subscribe to Cedrus Research, where we also put out information that helps you and guides you, keeps you informed of what is going on, so that you can make strategic decisions at the right time, because it goes a long way to make that decision at the right time. Be mindful of interest rates. Ensure to channel your portfolio towards those assets or products that are mindful of interest rate, like commercial papers. Commercial papers definitely always give higher than whatever the inflation rate is at a particular point in time. Then also learn to deploy your capital wisely. Ensure to study whatever product you want to invest in, whatever asset you are looking to invest in. Study it, understand the fundamentals before you can actually say, okay, yeah, this is a quality asset that I would want to invest my money in. Yeah, that would be all for now. Thank you so much for listening. You would definitely get a fuller version of this report at the end of the webinar. Thank you so much. So you're back to you.
Thank you so much, Chinemere, for that
Can't hear you.
insightful review. Can you hear me now? Thank you, CN, for the insightful review. And very quickly, a few things that you noted in the global space is that inflation is expected to ease while monetary policy rates would stabilize, and global trade, riddled by diverse challenges, would continue. So overall, there will be a global economic growth, but it will be modest. And in the domestic terrain, the outlook so far is that government budgets and expectations of GDP growth expectations of the GDP growth, sorry, very quickly. Okay, so expectations of the GDP growth would increase also in the domestic terrain. And we'll move very quickly now to our panelists. We have a diverse group of experts in our panel today. Each will be bringing unique perspective to the table. We have Michael Showumi, the Executive Director, Northern Region. Michael is a professional in asset management with a touch of class in investment banking, with over 20 years experience covering portfolio management, relationship management, business intelligence, business development. He's a fellow of the Institute of Credit Administration, FICA. He's an associate of CIIA and is an alumnus of the Lagos Business School. Also, we have Busola Ifoma Obona, the MD Cedrus Capital. Busola is the managing director of Cedrus Capital Limited, a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers, and an associate of the Chartered Institute of Securities and Investment UK. She also has over 20 years of work experience with the financial service industry, which spans across stockbroking, security trading, research, portfolio management, proprietary trading, and investment banking. And one of the speakers on our list is also Monisola Folorunsho, who is the Chief Operating Officer of Cedrus Group Africa. Monisola is an associate of the Chartered Institute of Securities and Investments, CISI UK, and is also a member of the Compliance Institute of Nigeria. She has over 30 years experience, and 23 of which has been in the trust industry. So very quickly would address your questions, keep them flowing in the webinar chat, and we'll have our speakers, including the CEO, whom I introduced before, Mr. Olubusayo Adeni, address some of these questions. So yeah, number one on the list here is, given the current economic climate in Nigeria, what are the key investment opportunities that individuals can explore to enhance their saving? So I would like to throw that open to Mr. Michael Showumi. So this person is trying to find out the key investment opportunities that individuals can explore to enhance their saving and financial portfolio.
All right, thank you. Good morning, everyone, to our listeners, both in Nigeria and diaspora as well. As you are aware, there are a lot of investment opportunities in Nigeria, and be as it may, when you look at basket full of asset classifications in Nigeria, some sectors have started coming up, which individuals, corporate organizations, and can key into. When you look at the technology aspect, we're talking about the fintech. So when you look at the agriculture sector, you look at also the real estate is, in fact, the real estate is really growing, and also when you look at some other aspect of the equity side of the investment, and also some government infrastructure asset classes that are coming up in the economy. So a lot of opportunities for Nigerians to key into, and also for our people in diaspora as well. So these are some of the sectors they can actually look into. But be as it may, it is very important that you need an investment guide. And that is why Cedrus Group Africa is here for you. You can communicate with us. We have our emails. We can always guide you through, so that at least we can profile you, then we can advise where you can, invest your money in the sector. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that awesome response. Another question that I can see here is from Atoda, who is emerging tech, the landscape of saving and investment options in Nigeria, and how can attendees leverage on this tool effectively? So What is the role of emerging technologies and digital platform? What role do they play in shaping the landscape of the saving and investment options in Nigeria? And how can attendees or Nigerians leverage on this tool? So I'll push that question over to Monisola Folorensho, our CEO.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Talking about emerging technologies, there are quite a number of them that are available now. They play a significant role in making sure that you have opportunities. So instead of going to the usual manual way of investing, there are now digital platforms that you can key into to be able to do that. So you're able to save time. You're able to invest in a number of platforms and even asset classes that are available. But how do you leverage these tools effectively? It is very important that you get your information right. Make sure that you don't just go and invest everywhere. Don't just join the pack of people going. You see people going towards a particular area and you follow. Be sure that whatever you are going to place your money into, it aligns with your investment goals. So first and foremost, your investment goals must be very clear. You must know what you're investing in, why you're investing, and what is the time horizon you're looking at. Also, it is important that you speak to professionals. You let your investment decisions be guided by professionals. And aside from that, it's also important for you to keep monitoring your portfolio. So gone were the days when you can just invest and let it be for months and years on end. You need to keep monitoring. And when you work with professionals, the beauty of it is that you get reports, you get opportunities to engage with your investment advisor so that you can always rebalance your portfolio as the need arises. So that would be my take on emerging technologies and the digital platform. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monisola. So what Monisola is trying to say is that as much as you're using these platforms, you should seek the help of professionals. So the third question we have here is, considering global economic trends, what advice do you have for attendees looking to diversify their investment portfolio and manage risk while maximizing returns in the Nigerian market? I know somebody who can tackle this question very well for us, and that will be the CEO of Cedrus Group Africa, Mr. Olubusayo.
Okay, thank you very much, Oluwafisayomi. And riding on what the other panelists have actually said to those questions ahead, I think while the opportunities in the local environment or in the domestic space exist or abound, diversification is very, very key to portfolio. So international investment could also be considered as well. Investment in other markets, which the information of such will be provided by right professionals like Cedrus Group Africa. So there are other markets that are actually profitable through which we could actually diversify our portfolio. So I think that's the best way to manage the risk that are around the investment space. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So what I can get from that is that we should participate in multinational funds, global funds, so that we can offset the risk associated with localized economic inflations or fluctuations that we might be facing. Thank you very much for that awesome response, Mr. Olubusayo. So another question that is coming up here is that in light with the recent economic policies, we are getting policies here and there. What measures can individuals, people like me, what measures can we do to protect and grow our savings in this potentially volatile market? So I would like Mrs. Busola Obona to take us through that, the answer for that, please.
Thank you very much, Oluwafisayomi. So for individuals to protect and grow their savings in a potentially volatile market, a balanced approach to asset allocation is very, very essential. And what does this entail? individuals should be able to allocate their funds across assets with minimal risk and good returns. Assets such as bonds, equities, mutual funds, derivatives, and even the real estate. Last year, the equities market had a return of 45%. And currently, as we speak, the equities market has done 40% in return. So these are asset classes that individuals can actually invest in to be able to manage volatility. Then this same last year, to Nigeria's exchange group launched the derivative market. The derivative market is a very good risk management tool that individuals, corporate organizations can key into to manage their exposures in the bond and equity space. So all this can actually help provide a buffer against any form of economic uncertainties. However, it is very essential and imperative that you seek professional financial advice from us. Thank you.
Thank you, Busola, for that awesome response. I think something that is notable between, among all these speakers is that even though they are giving answers, it is imperative that you seek professional advice. You seek professional advice. So finally, keep your questions coming. I have another one here, and it's asking, how can I navigate inflation and interest rate fluctuation to make informed decisions regarding my savings and investment strategy? We all know that inflation is the #1 eater of most people's money in the country. So this person is trying to find out, like, what can I do? This interest rate fluctuation, inflation rates, what decisions can I make regarding my savings and investment? What strategies can I put in place? And I'll be throwing this question to our able CEO to answer.
Okay, thank you very much, Oluwafisayomi. I think the answer is already embedded in all the answers that have been given earlier. But I will start with what Chinemelun said when she was actually rounding up the presentation. She said, please, you can key into our research newsletter, which is a good source of information. And because for every decision to be taken, for you to take the right decision, you need right information. So it's very crucial to actually stay informed. And when you are informed, you'll be able to actually hedge against whatever risk or whatever inflationary pressure. And also, number two, Busola has said it, that we need to balance our portfolio. A balanced portfolio will actually help you mitigate against risk, inflation risk at any point in time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, CEO. So due to, the constraint of time, we may not be able to attend to all your questions. However, keep them coming. We have somebody in the chat box who's going to, take out all these questions, and we encourage that you drop your emails so that we can reach out to you with our answers. But as we wrap up the Q&A session, I just want, our speakers to just take us through their thoughts briefly, based on the presentation that we have and based on the outlook or the implications for 2024. So very quickly, I'll start with Mrs. Monisola Folonsho. What are your final thoughts or brief thoughts on?
Okay, thank you, Fisayo. Yeah, so the thought that comes to mind as we look at the volatility in the economy, what has happened in 2023 and what is even being projected for 2024, is the need for us to build up on our capital. We cannot afford to live and just spend all. Whatever money you're making, no matter how small you think it cannot take care of all your bills, you just must consciously build your capital this year. So we need to keep saving and investing. And we've seen with inflation that there is no way savings can help us. We need to move beyond saving to go into investments. And the only way to do your investment right is to make sure that you're talking to professionals. If you talk to professionals like us, there are a lot of opportunities in the market that you might not be aware of. You have that opportunity when you're dealing with them professionals. You get access to the knowledge that they have in the market space. You have the opportunity to also even diversify. Ordinarily, you might not be able to invest in some asset because of the size of your portfolio. But when you allow them to invest on your behalf, then you get to benefit from such investments that ordinarily you will not be able to invest in. And whether you're in Nigeria or you are abroad, use a trustee. There are a myriad of trust transactions that can help you to mitigate the risk of just investing on your own. So we find a situation where somebody who is abroad has assets in Nigeria. Some people are actually actively investing in Nigeria, even though they live abroad. But if you use family members, relatives, or friends, we've seen situations where such people would end up, for whatever reason, messing up assets for the owners. Use a trust company. Not only are we registered, we are experienced. You can leverage this experience to make sure that you hold your assets and you use it for the reasons why you have even built up the assets in the first instance. So I would encourage our listeners to go to our website, contact us, email us. We're available to talk to you at any time. There are a lot of trust products that we have that you can take advantage of, and you will be able to put yourself in a better state, even as we look onto a better 2024. Thank you.
Wow, I'm learning something incredible. So yes, it's one thing to invest, and to have a level of cover, would mean that you engage a trustee. So that's an insightful one. So very quickly, Mrs. Busola Ogbonna, can we have your final thoughts?
Okay, thank you very much, Oluwafisayomi. Okay, so my final thoughts are that in the face of economic uncertainties in 2024, as highlighted by Chinumelum, what should be our watchword? Our watchword is to preserve value by moving our excess cash, excess liquidity, and even profit into assets that retain value. Doing nothing is risky. So we must consciously move our assets, our liquidity, and profit into such assets like Eurobonds, dividend-paying stocks with good fundamentals, commercial papers with good yield, amongst others. And the Go Africa. Cedrus Group Africa is a go-to person that can actually help you to achieve this aim. So we're always available to help you achieve that. Just reach out to us via email or via your contacts. Will be readily available to give you the necessary support in actually making profitable investment via these valuable asset classes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we should not leave our money to just being there. We should do something to it. Preserve your money by moving it into valuable assets. So very quickly, Mr. Michael, show me your final thoughts.
All right. Thank you so much. To our listeners, first thing first, I want to thank you for your time. And just 3 key points here for me: security, growth, and return. When we're talking about security, who is managing your investment? It is very important, especially for our people in the diaspora and even in Nigeria, that you just don't give out things to people. You too, do a bit of research. Who am I giving my money to? Who will help me manage it? And that is where you need professional. So I want you to key into that, into those 3 key points. Security is very important. As we are aware, in the past, MMM has come and gone. There are still a lot of them. Information is very key. People should not just come to you. There is one investment, they are giving 30% return. When you bring 1,000 naira, they will give you 5,000 naira next week. Please, my people, find out who is managing your investment. And that is why you need to work with the right information. Growth is very important. A little drop of water makes an ocean. So when you are thinking of investment, don't look at it that I don't have enough money. Do you know that even with 50 naira, you can buy 1 unit or 2 units of a share in the equity market? That is to let you know that a little drop of water makes an ocean. Then what about returns? Don't be gullible about returns. I need 30%. I need 40%. If I give you 100,000 naira, can you give me 25%? Work with the professionals. And that is why Cedrus Group Africa is here for you. Don't forget, your financial progress is our own priority. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I think we already have the acronym to roll with for this session. So it's security, growth, and return. So if you don't even pick anything, pick these 3 things. Security, how do you secure your get tangible return on those assets? Finally, Mr. Olubusayo, can we have your thoughts on the implications of the economic outlook for 2024?
Thank you very much, Oluwafisayomi. And I'd like to key into what Mr. Shomi has said, in addition to what others have said. Thank you very much, audience. Thank you for taking time to actually attend this short webinar. You know, information is very, very key to having a balanced lifestyle. We have actually given you a token of what we have packaged in the research report. Please take time to actually go through the research report that will be circulating after this event. And also, please continue to stay informed about monetary policies and economic indicators. They are key to whatever investment decision you want to make, so that you know what to do on the short run and what is profitable in the long run. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much for staying with us. And we are here all the time for you. The essence of our actually coming to play in this environment is because of you. We are investment solution provider across Africa, and we are committed to the economic prosperity of both the individual and the nations that make up Africa. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olubusayo, for that response. So very quickly, I just want to remind you all that this is just the teaser or you know, a brief presentation of the main report that we have put together, you know, the Cedrus research team have put together, and we'll be sending that in the almost immediately after this event to your emails. It's a detailed report that contains from the global economic terrain to the domestic terrain to the monetary policies, inflation, and also strategies that you can adopt, you know, for the 2024, going into 2024. So I just want to have our CEO give his closing remark while we bring this awesome webinar to a close.
Okay. Thank you, Oluwafisayo. I would like to thank the panelists. Thank you so much for your insight into the subject and then the answers to the questions. We have actually demonstrated who we are by actually giving this little to the investing public. And to all our attendees, we sincerely appreciate your time. We value time, and that's why we have actually made this to be very short and brief. We hope that we'll continue to actually bring information as situation evolves, most essentially around the reforms and the policies that the government will be rolling out within the year to support the economic growth and then the outlook and trends that we have actually projected. We encourage you to please take a cursory look into the reports that will be circulated. And also, we are here as investment solution provider. In the group, we have advisory capability. We also have the trusteeship arm of Cedrus Group Africa. We have the SME for those who have small scale business, for how you want to actually scale up your business, how you want to run the business effectively. We're here to actually give you solutions in all those areas. And also we have the asset management arm, and very, very soon, our microfinance bank will actually be coming up. And also we run a credit license as well that will actually ensure and will support you in actually scaling or helping your business. So as a team, we say thank you very much for taking time to attend this. And I would like to thank the moderator as well. Oluwafisayomi, thank you very much for doing a good job. And then to Chinemelu, thank you very much for the beautiful job that you do here. And we know that at least better days are ahead. So in all, we say a big thank you to everyone.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We see your reactions, we see your claps, your hearts, keep them coming. If you have questions, send them into the chat box. I'm very, very sure a lot of our panelists would address those questions that we could not take during the Q&A. Expect the full and loaded reports. Share it, on LinkedIn, share it within your groups on WhatsApp. Pass on this information, help people stay informed and abreast. Thank you till we see you at our next webinar session. We love you, and we hope to keep doing business with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Thank you for the reactions. Thank you.
So we have to make Nigeria work. It's our country. We believe so much in our country, so everything will have to work for us. By the grace of God. Thank you everyone. Thank you, my CEO, the research analysts. We want to thank you as well, our esteemed panelists, and all of you in the audience, both here in Nigeria and diaspora. Your engagement and participation have made this webinar truly valuable. Truly valuable. We thank you. We appreciate you. Please keep your question coming. We'll definitely respond to you. Our informations are out there, email, our website. You can, reach out to us. We also have our social media handle as well. We'll definitely connect with you anywhere in the world. And that is who we are in Cedrus Group. Thank you.